On June 29th, 2026, a software company in Miami announced it was giving the United States government something no artificial intelligence lab had ever offered. Not access to a model. Ownership of one. The weights, the training, the whole machine, running inside air-gapped rooms the public will never see. The company is Palantir. And on that exact same day, its stock was down nearly 40% for the year. The best performing company in enterprise software, the worst performing stock in it. Both true at once. Most people can't tell you what Palantir actually sells, and that's not an accident. For 20 years, this company has worked in rooms you can't walk into, for customers who don't issue press releases. It doesn't build the models you've heard of. It builds the layer underneath them, something it calls the ontology, a working map of how an organization really functions. Every truck, every vessel, every claim, every soldier turned into an object a machine can reason about. Models come and go, the map stays. So understand what the June announcement really was. Palantir and NVIDIA built a joint engine that lets a federal agency take NVIDIA's open Nemotron models, train them on classified data inside a sealed environment, and then keep the result. Not rent it. Keep it. Explicit data authorization. Architecturally enforced isolation. Data portability. A right to erasure. Full auditability. And a quiet feedback loop that post-trains the model on how people actually use it, so it sharpens on the mission every single week. Alex Karp framed it in one sentence that landed harder than he probably intended. Pairing Palantir's infrastructure with NVIDIA's open models, he said, lets the government use large language models while removing the concern about proprietary insights migrating into the weights of closed models. Read that again. He's describing every closed system in the industry as a place where your secrets go to live inside somebody else's product. Standing beside him, Jensen Huang called open source artificial intelligence foundational to national security and to American technology leadership. Here's why that phrasing should stop you cold. The United States government employs roughly 3 million civilians. Food safety, highway inspection, energy grids, healthcare, agriculture. It is, functionally, one of the largest enterprises on the planet. And Palantir just handed it away to build frontier-grade artificial intelligence without ever calling a vendor's programming interface again. Now hold that thought, because on the very same timeline, the market had decided Palantir was finished. Start with what the company actually reported. In the first quarter of 2026, revenue hit $1.63 billion, up 85% year over year, the fastest growth since Palantir went public. United States revenue more than doubled. United States commercial revenue jumped 133% to $595 million. Net income roughly quadrupled to $870 million. The company closed 206 deals worth $1 million or more in 90 days. And its Rule of 40 score, growth plus margin, where anything above 40 is considered excellent, came in at 145%. Karp pointed out that only a handful of companies had ever posted numbers like that, and the rest of them make chips. Palantir raised full-year guidance above $7.5 billion and promised profit in every single quarter of the year. The reach kept widening too. Government revenue in the United States had already climbed 66% in a single quarter. In July, Palantir signed its first publicly announced commercial customer in Latin America, the largest insurer in Mexico. It built a shipbuilding system for the Navy that the company says compressed certain manufacturing approvals from about 200 hours down to 15 seconds. Every one of those is a foothold. Footholds compound. Then the stock fell. Not a dip. A collapse. Through June, Palantir dropped roughly 25% in a single month, its worst month in 5 years. On the 25th, it touched a 52-week low of $106.37. Year to date, down about 40%. Traders had a name for the wider carnage. They called it the SaaS apocalypse, the great repricing of expensive software, and the sharpest voice in that room belonged to a man who has done this before. Michael Burry, the investor who saw 2008 coming, has been short Palantir since the autumn of 2025. In June, he called it a sandcastle, trading at something like 16 times what he believes it's actually worth. He wasn't shorting the price, he said he was shorting the premise. For a few brutal weeks, the chart agreed with him. A price-to-earnings ratio near 144 leaves no room for a single bad quarter. But valuation is the shallow version of the argument. The deeper one is this. Palantir's entire pitch is that it owns the layer between raw data and real decisions. What happens when the model companies decide they want that layer too? OpenAI is reportedly building a data structuring platform aimed squarely at Palantir's territory, staffed in part by former Palantir engineers. Both OpenAI and Anthropic have copied Palantir's signature move, embedding forward-deployed engineers directly inside customer teams. And the growth rate of United States commercial bookings has already slid from 137% down to 45%. Even the government moat has hairline cracks in it. The Pentagon made Maven, Palantir's battlespace and targeting system, a program of record, the procurement equivalent of permanence, on more than $1.3 billion of contracts. But the Pentagon is also pushing artificial intelligence outward to phones and drones at the edge, where lightweight models don't always fit a heavy platform. And when the Army's next generation command and control prototype was reviewed in late 2025, an internal memo rated it very high risk, flagging that authorized users could reach data regardless of clearance level. Palantir said the flaw sat in third-party applications. That's true. It's also the precise risk of being the company that connects everything. And then there's the part of this story that has nothing to do with a stock price. Palantir has run Immigration and Customs Enforcement's investigative case management platform since 2014. In April 2025, it took a $30 million contract to build Immigration OS, and that sole source deal has since ballooned past $145 million. Investigators later documented a tool called Elite, a map interface that shows agents where deportable people are likely to be, drawing on health and immigration databases and commercial data brokers, complete with an address confidence score. The American Civil Liberties Union calls Palantir's software the backbone of the removal campaign. Amnesty International has said the company should cease that work outright. The Electronic Frontier Foundation asked Palantir directly how it squares its own human rights policy with what its tools are used for, and found the answers narrow. Karp's response has been consistent for years. His software, he says, ensures the state and its agents can see only what they ought to see. Somewhere between those two sentences sits the real argument about what this company is. So which Palantir is real? The one posting the best numbers in enterprise software, or the one the market is repricing week after week? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Both of them, and they aren't in conflict, because they're measuring two different things. The business is measuring demand. The stock is measuring durability. Nobody disputes that governments and corporations want what Palantir sells right now. The dispute is whether they'll still need Palantir to get it in 2030, or whether the model companies, cheaper and more capable every quarter, simply absorb the layer Palantir built, which is exactly why that June announcement matters more than any earnings number. Look at what Palantir actually did. It didn't fight the model makers, it made itself the thing that holds them. Its Evolve platform already routes work across whichever model wins on cost, speed, or security, and Karp says some government customers have already swapped proprietary models for open ones. If he's right, the model becomes the commodity and the orchestration becomes the moat. If he's wrong, Palantir spent 2026 building a beautiful frame around a picture someone else will own. On August 3rd, 2026, Palantir reports second quarter results. Wall Street's consensus target still sits near $200, nearly double where the stock bottomed in June. 19 of 31 analysts still say buy. Burry says sandcastle. One of them is going to look very foolish, and we won't be waiting long to find out which. But strip the ticker away, and something much larger is happening here. For 2 decades, the deal with software was simple. You rent it, and they keep it. Palantir just offered the American government a different deal entirely. Build it inside your own walls, on your own data, and never hand the keys to anyone. That isn't a product launch. That's a claim about who should own the machines that make decisions about people. And once a government accepts an offer like that, it does not go back. The company that spent 20 years building software nobody could see just told the world where the real power in artificial intelligence lives, not in the model, in the map, and whether that turns out to be the smartest bet in technology or the most expensive mistake ever made, we'll find out in a room none of us will ever be allowed to enter. So, where do you land on this? Is Palantir the most misunderstood company in America or the most overpriced? Drop it in the comments. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more coming.